Birthday Club, followed by CITV. That's in 10 minutes after the news.
Good afternoon. Bruce Grobbelaar says he's astounded and devastated at the Court of Appeal's decision to overturn his libel victory over match-fixing claims. In an unprecedented ruling, the court said the verdict, delivered by a jury against the Sun newspaper, was a miscarriage of justice. Here's Annabelle Roberts.
The Court of Appeal's ruling overturning the verdict of a High Court jury which found that Bruce Grobbelaar had been libelled by the Sun has delighted the paper.
The court has found unanimously and unambiguously in a devastating judgment that Bruce Grobbelaar corruptly accepted bribes to throw football matches. He stands today condemned by 3 of the nation's most senior judges as a man who betrayed his teammates, his fans and the national game.
The case relates to a series of articles published by The Sun in 1994, alleging the Zimbabwean goalkeeper accepted money to throw matches. Their evidence included conversations recorded by a hidden camera in which they said Mr. Grobbelaar confessed to taking money for losing matches. Summing up this morning, Lord Justice Simon Brown said Mr. Grobbelaar's explanation of why he accepted money was so utterly implausible that no jury acting reasonably could believe it was true.
In our view, it's quite wrong for the Court of Appeal to substitute its findings for those of jurors who had the opportunity of hearing the evidence and evaluating the witnesses.
But for now, the joy when the original verdict was given will have vanished. Bruce Grobbelaar faces losing his damages award of £85,000 and paying court costs estimated at more than £1 million. Annabelle Roberts, ITN.
The millionaire businessman giving £5 million to the Conservative Party has defended his generosity. Stuart Wheeler said the donation, the biggest in British political history, was small change to him, and it was not in return for any favours.
There are no strings at all. I want nothing for myself, nothing for my company. I want no say in policy. I want no say who's in the shadow cabinet.
There's been a dramatic rise in the number of racist incidents reported to police. They more than doubled to 48,000 last year. But the Home Office say the rise may be due to the better reporting and recording of incidents. The funeral of Damilola Taylor has been taking place in South London. Hundreds of friends, family and other mourners attended the service at All Saints Church in Plumstead. Despite public outrage at Damilola's death, no one has yet been charged with his murder. Tennis at the Australian Open, Greg Rusedskis pulled off a shock victory over the top seed Gustavo Kuerten. In a thrilling 5-setter, the British number 2 saved a match point before winning the final set 9-7. Rusedski said later it was the greatest victory of his career. That's it. I'm back with the ITV Evening News. Join me 6:30.
Good afternoon. A man is still being questioned this afternoon in connection with a murder at a flat in Leighton Buzzard. The victim has been named as Noel Dunn from Bletchley in Milton Keynes. He'd worked as a part-time security guard in Luton. Police were out in Leighton Buzzard early this morning talking to local people 24 hours after being alerted to the murder by an anonymous phone call. Kate Ricordan reports.
We're trying to locate a person who you may well have used his telephone box here at 9:15.
A day after making their gruesome discovery, police were back on the streets of Leighton Buzzard, appealing for information, continuing the search for clues. They discovered the body of 35-year-old Noel Dunn early yesterday at the flat in Oatfield Gardens he shared with his girlfriend. They'd received an anonymous tip-off from a nearby telephone kiosk, but they're still trying to trace the person who made the call.
Brooklands Drive is an extremely busy stretch of road, particularly for families walking their children to school. If someone made a telephone call from that phone box, then those passers-by or motorists will have seen them.
The telephone receiver has been removed and is being examined by forensic teams. Officers say Mr Dunn had been tied to a chair and hit on the head several times with a blunt instrument. Bedfordshire police have described his injuries as horrific.
Police hope that this morning's investigation, 24 hours after the crucial call was made here in Brooklands Drive, will have jogged somebody's memory and lead to a breakthrough in this case. Kate Ricordan, Anglia News, Leighton Buzzard.
The chief executive of Papworth Hospital near Cambridge has been moved to Bedford Hospital to head up the management team there in the wake of the scandal over bodies left in a chapel of rest. Kenneth Williams resigned earlier this week as chief executive of Bedford Hospital after national newspapers carried pictures of the makeshift mortuary. Now he'll be temporarily replaced by Stephen Bridge from Papworth. Hinchingbrook Hospital in Huntingdon has closed a 21-bed general medical ward because of a shortage of nurses. The hospital, which has 460 beds, says it began to experience nursing shortages towards the end of last year. Now it aims to continue with its scheme to attract qualified nurses back to the profession, and next month will be mounting a recruiting campaign in the Philippines to attract more staff. Refuse collectors in Milton Keynes began working to rule this morning in protest at what they claim are excessive hours. It means they will stop for meal breaks and no longer do overtime to clear the rubbish. Their employers, Corey Environmental, say they're working with the union to resolve the dispute. Sarah Beecroft reports.
7 o'clock on the dot and refuse trucks leave the depot they'll be returning to on time today, round finished or not. Workers say they're taking no rubbish from management and no rubbish from the streets of Milton Keynes when their official working day is over. Today is day one of their work to rule action. That means lunch and tea breaks will be stringently observed and compulsory overtime banned.
They've had enough of the hours and they basically see this is their right to work for a reasonable day for a reasonable day's wage.
The problem, they say, is excessive hours. Under the old system, they'd have to finish around before they could clock off. Many say that meant working 12-hour days. Residents in Bletchley have mixed views.
No, I don't hold much sympathy for them, no, not at all.
That is unfair, isn't it, you know, that they have to work like they do.
Oh, I don't blame them. I mean, they put up with some stick and that, don't they?
Corey Environmental say they've brought in 2 more trucks to ease the workload. They're confident rubbish will be picked up and the extra dust carts will cope. Just how long this industrial action is likely to go on and exactly what impact it will have on the streets of Milton Keynes remains to be seen. But workers are defiant they'll continue to work to rule until Corey Environmental prove that their extra resources will in fact lighten their load. Sarah Beecroft, Anglia News, Bletchley.
Milton Keynes' booming economy is creating a serious problem for the town. There are simply not enough staff to go round. Now firms in the town are turning to India to solve the recruitment problem. Sangeeta Muley has just been taken on by Abbey National as a software developer. She got the job after it was advertised in her home newspaper in Pune near Bombay. Unemployment in Milton Keynes is running at just 1.5%. It's thought the high cost of housing is putting off potential employees coming to the town. We'll have a special report by Emma Birchley on Milton Keynes' unemployment boom in tonight's Anglia News at 6. Do join us then. For now, though, good afternoon.
On our chocolate, ma'am.
Anglia weather, sponsored by Cadbury's Toppers Hot Chocolate.
Dry and cold tonight with a severe frost inland, milder near the coast. A frosty start tomorrow with freezing fog and low cloud around, especially inland, but brighter spells throughout the morning. Cloudier in the afternoon across the north and east with the possibility of some light sleet showers, highs of 3 or 4 degrees.